guys, welcome to our free-to-play playthrough through FGO. Today we're going to be going over Babylonia. If you guys haven't, make sure to check out all the other videos. We are doing a playthrough for section 1 of FGO, and we're going to cross over into all the others, including Lost Belt and Lost Belt 1.5 or Lost of Remnant, however you want to call it. But yeah, welcome to today's video, guys. I want to mention real quick before we get started that if you do hear a fan in the background, that is because it is summer and I am dying over here with the heat. So I do apologize if you guys can hear it. You might not hear it, but if you do turn up the volume all the way up, you might get like hints of it here and there. I do apologize, but I don't think I'm gonna die over a video just yet. So plus I live with other people, they'll probably kill me if I were to turn it off. So I'm just gonna leave it there and apologize and get this video started. Alright, so Babylonia compared to Camelot should be a breeze. Well, I guess I wouldn't say a breeze. It depends on where you're at with your teams. If you have been following along, by now you should have a pretty solid team, especially if you did beat Camelot, then you by now should have some pretty solid servants, and that's all it's gonna take for this singularity. There are like 3 main bosses or 3 main encounters that are considered very challenging and very hard, but the rest of the singularity should be smooth sailing, especially Tiamat and Enkidu and all these like high HP, really big cool looking bosses. They are not much of a threat. They're just there to kind of scare you, and most of the fights that you're gonna have with Gorgon and Tiamat, you're going to get buffs and you're going to get healed. You're going to be able to stall it as much as you want till you can kill the boss, which is far easier than having to deal with someone like Rongom. I can't say her name. It's better than dealing with the bosses that you dealt with at Camelot, I would say. But there is some challenging encounters that we'll definitely go over for Babylonia. Before we do cover these bosses and we go dive into Babylonia, I do want to say there are a few things that have changed. So if you guys know, so now I've kept every video where I've only used free-to-play servants and 1 to 3 star servants if I can. Some videos I had to make the exception and go for a 4-star because I didn't have any other option, but I've mainly tried to stick to free to play. So starting here on out, I will not be doing this, okay? I burnt out way too quickly trying to make the impossible possible, and all of us have access to using a friend support with a strong servant, so it should not be too off if I do it as well. And on top of this, waiver is also a big thing because we did get a free 5-star ticket not so long ago where you could choose a 5-star servant. I ended up choosing waiver, and if you are free to play, you pick any bone, like any bone that this game throws at you, you get it and you run with it, because we get very little, so whatever we get, we try our best to make it work. And waiver is a great servant to have for any free to play player, and I'm lucky enough to have him, so I'm gonna use him. Why make my life harder when the game itself is giving me a free 5-star? Now, if you are completely new to the game and you do not have waiver or you do not have any 5-star servant, please go check out my earlier videos as I explain the substitutes for waiver and I explain what other servants you could get instead of waiver to help you and help you make better teams. So like everything you feel confused about when it comes to team making and what servants you need, I will probably most likely have it covered on my previous videos. With that being said, there's only 2 more things to talk about, and that is I've upgraded Spartacus and Arash to do a 3-turn farm because I got lucky enough with a imaginary element summon. I got 2, which is good enough. Thanks to waiver, I can 3-turn turn farm, although not as strong, but definitely good enough for at least like 30,000 HP enemies or so. Okay, that is all I have to say. That is all I have to update you guys on. Let us get started. Let us dive into Babylonia. Okay, our first encounter with a difficult boss is gonna be Quetzalcoatl. She's really not that hard if you do this fight right. There is a bit of a mechanic, and the mechanic also involves you paying attention to the story. So if you like to skip, you might wanna read a little bit. I don't think it'll let you skip it, but just in case you randomly click something, I would suggest you stop for a minute, because depending on what choice you pick, you will have a very broken Quetzalcoatl fight, or you will have a very tolerable Quetzalcoatl fight. It's very tough, this fight. I think this is a very cool boss to fight, and unfortunately you do not have a lot of options here when it comes to servants to bring. On the support side, you can bring a lot of people, but on the damage side, you kind of gotta be very specific on who you choose. For this team is very simple. I am not planning on having any backline or any crazy strategy. If anything, I would like the DPS to kind of just solo this. So that's why Leonidas is here, because he gives a 3-turn buster buff, and Waver gives really nice buffs as well to our chosen DPS. You can like manipulate her a bit because she is single target, so taunts could be very useful in this fight. In my case, I have this list up here. As you can see, these are all the servants that do full damage to Quetzalcoatl because her buffs are really strong. So if you do not choose any of these servants, you're gonna have a really bad time, and if you choose the first option, you're gonna have a really bad time. So make sure you choose the second option and you pick one of these servants to go ham at Quetzalcoatl. Now I would say pick a berserker here from John or Ora. Those two would definitely be a solid pick for this fight. I chose Ora Nobunaga, and I kind of ended it in round 2 because it was just that easy for Ora. But if you struggle in this fight, do not worry, everybody does. But if you do what I did, then it should be pretty easy fight. So let's go on to the next. Okay, this next encounter, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room and the most fun fight in the singularity, and that is Tiamat and the Gorgon fights. Now, the reason why I won't go over what teams to bring or what to do for this boss is because it's easy. It's really easy, man. There's really like nothing for me to talk about. I will just tell you like, hey, bring the same team that I used to kill Quetzalcoatl, because that'll work. Any team will work. Just bring your favorite servants, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to beat every single encounter with Tiamat or Gorgon or any big mama looking boss that you encounter in Babylonia. I defeated this boss on stream with Mashu and Hans. That's how easy it was. Now, I'm not saying this as a flex. Like, you may find this hard, and I understand. I'm just saying that every encounter you have with Tiamat, you do get a buff, you do get assistance, which is why a lot of people discount the boss, right? Like, a lot of people don't count it as anything difficult in Babylonia just because of the assistance that you get. It's more like, oh my gosh, look how cool, big monster, you know, pretty cool fight. But it's not really meant to be hard, and it's not really meant for you to struggle with it. So it is why I will not have Tiamat as like a final boss or anything like that, because these bosses are all pretty similar, and it's that they have chunky health, you have chunky health, and you just go at it till eventually it dies, and then yeah, that's it. I mean, you get like 20,000 HP and you heal every round. So like, I think you guys will manage, and if you are stuck with it, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to help out as best as I can. But this is my reasoning as why I will not go in depth or showcase it, if that makes sense. I guess I am doing that now, but you get where I'm coming from. I hope. Alright, let's talk about the true menace to society. If there was ever a enemy that deserves to have a video made on for wearing black Air Forces in Fate, it has to be the Lahmus. I freaking hate the Lahmus. Let me show you why. They remove all the freaking buffs, and not only that, they debuff you, and not only that, they do a shit ton of damage while having a shit ton of health. And if you do not have any DPS on you, well, guess what? They come in packs, so you're kind of fucked. These guys are like the gangsters of FGO, okay? These guys don't play games. If they pull up ready to end your whole life. These Lahmus have the AK-47 on standby. The leader has that Uzi for the quick spray. They are ready. These guys are veterans, okay? Call of Duty means nothing to these Lahmus, okay? These Lahmus are gonna end your life, okay? They are the most annoying enemy, probably the hardest thing you're possibly gonna fight in this entire singularity, and you're gonna wish you were back at Camelot after facing some of these Lahmus, especially as a free-to-play. If you lack any sort of resources or servants that can handle the load of these guys, well, GG, you're kinda have a very frustrating and annoying time. Oh, and you also get your first endurance test in this singularity, where you have to take out 12 of these fuckers. This will definitely test your mental, so if you have not done Babylonia, or if you've done Babylonia, let me know your stories about the Lahmus, because fuck Lahmus. Also, an honorable mention is the edit kit called Ghost. I did not record it, unfortunately. I recorded towards the end, sorta, so I do apologize. I did want to make that as part of the boss list, but I did not record it, so I do apologize for those who did want to see how to do it. But do let me know. I can make something work out for like another video and show you. Alright, so this video, I know this video has been a little bit different than the other videos, but this is because the way Babylonia is in terms of difficulty, since it's kind of like, I would say Babylonia is the type of singularity you do in the background while you watch the Babylonia anime. Anyways, let's go over the two Ushi fights that are considered probably the hardest encounters in this singularity. So like if you beat these two, you should be home free. Like there should be nothing else to really like make you struggle apart from Lahmus, as previously discussed. Okay, so the first encounter with Ushi that I think is the hardest will be chapter 18, Arrow 2, with 6 Ushis that you have to defeat. Here is where our farming team would come in clutch. Now they will use MP, so if you do not do this quickly, you are kinda like, it's over. You're gonna need someone like Arjuna, Spartacus, or Rosh, and that's kind of what I did in this example, where I brought my farming team into this. They are 65k HP, so it's very doable. You're just gonna need AoE servants. Here I did a mistake. I could have ended this much faster, but I for some reason thought Spartacus could handle it. I should have just used Arjuna and just got it over with. In your case, you can bring someone like Arjuna with Kaleidoscope and try to get someone with AoE on your side, and you could probably clear this in 2 goes. They are berserkers, so everything does extra damage to them. However, if you cannot get any of this up and going, it's gonna be very hard. I don't know of any other strat. You could try like a stall team for this, but I highly doubt it. Your best bet here is to get some AoE servants and just kill them before they kill you. Okay, so for the last encounter on Ushi, this one's a little bit tricky, a little bit tough, but let's get it. And what we want to do here is we don't want to have a backline. We just want to have our 2 solid servants and 1 from the front support, of course. She is also going to spawn clones, and if you kill the clones, she's going to spawn even more clones. So you just want to target the main Ushi, and usually the way you see this is she's going to be the most right, or she's going to have the servant went unknown, and the other ones are not gonna have it. So your goal is just to kill the main Ushi, and then you can take care of the clone Ushi. So what I would recommend is bringing a single target just to get the main Ushi out of the way fast as possible, and then chip down the last Ushi since she's really not gonna be a threat to you. That's kind of what I did. I hope that this helped you. I know that this was really weird compared to like other videos, but this is what I did, how I went through it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah, that's Babylonia, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I will be doing a special for the next singularity, which is Solomon, this Monday around 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. I will be actually, I guess I shouldn't say that, but I would say like subscribe and be notified, because this Monday I will be streaming the Goetia or the Solomon special, which will be a 4-hour long stream, and I hope to see you guys there so we can clear this together as free-to-play players, and it'll be just a fun time. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.